Can everybody hear me? I'm experimenting here with StreamYard, doing something different. Ahoy! So let's see here. I can't use my mouse because I've got a surprise for everybody. So I'll scroll all the way up and start my way back down. Mayor, hello, thank you. Blue Oval, thank you for showing up. Sean, Moondog, Daniel, Adam, Rick, Mark, the dude. All right. Quality not so good. Well, I'm on StreamYard. It sounds like I'm in a can. I'm real far away from my camera. That's the problem. I've got it set up over there because we have the ability to do some racing tonight, or actually show the cars off that I meant to show off. And looky there, we have a second camera for the left timer. You can't hear me though. Okay, cool. All right, man. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Bill. Hey, John. Yeah. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody for A, showing up, and then B, I hope everybody had a safe holiday weekend. Regrettably, last night, whenever I tried to go live, I've already explained it to Daniel, to Adam, and a couple of other people that I didn't. Literally, right after they said start your engines at the Indianapolis 500, I lost my internet, and then power was flickering here, and we had some tornadoes south of us. We had some tornadoes north of us. So I'm glad to see Rick's here, so I know he didn't blow away, and hopefully Matt with Patriot Raceway or Racing joins in, and we know he's safe. Or Dick, Danny with Dick's SLOTCAR Garage. I know Michael Zim of Zim's Aquatic. He's at his work, but he wanted to stop in and tell everybody hi. So I'm glad that he stopped by and took the time away from his work, new job, and wanted to say hi to everybody. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, Chris, thanks for showing up. Yeah, that's why I've got it listed as a special 2-hour show, and I'm going to switch over here real quick. Wow, okay. Okay, that is weird. I went over because it gives me the ability to look on StreamYard or YouTube. So I originally tried to set this up using the new OBS software, but no matter what I did, I could not get it to recognize the second camera. And then it dawned on me that I could use my cameras. Oops. Oh, cool. Thank you, Mark. Hey, there's Tate. Thanks, buddy, for showing up. Hey, I'll tell my story later. Mark, tell us how you did, buddy. Did you bring home a trophy? Yes, I did. That's Michael Moondogs. And then that's why I wanted to ask you, so do you want a bare chassis, and do you want a narrow or a wide, or do you want a completed like this? Like I have, these are the ones that I buy, and then when someone buys a car that they want me to, hop up or whatever, then this is what I use as a foundation. So I have new ones like this too. Wide bare. Okay, can do, buddy. No, but you do have, hey man. No, as long as you're making progress. Nuclear missiles is in. Hey, hey man. You're just 3 away from the top podium spot. And I'm sure that I would be sadly embarrassed the first few times I tried to go against those guys that have been doing it for years. So, I may be king of my track, and you may be king of your track, but when you're playing on other people's fields, it's a whole other ballgame. And so I can definitely relate. Hey, man, no problem. So, yeah, I do. I can grab that real quick. Nobody's home, Paul brings up another point. I just want to point that out. Like I said, I have complete 440 chassis, wide pans, bare that I sell for $20. I've got bare, narrow, and wide pans with nothing on them that I sell for $5 each. And then if you want anything hopped up on your TYCO, from a 440 X2 times 2 up, then I have all the parts to do that too. And that is why we've got the special 2-hour show. So I'm hoping Rossi shows up. Not any Super 3 stuff yet, but I'm working on it. A new lucky shirt. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. If you ever win and you're wearing the shirt, remember, don't wash it. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight is what I planned on doing last night due to the weather. Like I said, hopefully, everybody's safe. And if you are safe, I hope you had a good holiday weekend. And I know there's not a lot on TV tonight unless you're an NBA fan. And so I thought, hey, this is a good night to make up for last night when I planned on going live. And so what I've got set up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got Mega G Plus with one extra magnet in it with some Viper tires on it. And that's the only modifications I made. And that's what I'll run first. And then I'm going to run my Viper that I run here, my V-Spec, the one I call the Shadow. And then, like I said, I'm going to do a split screen so you guys will be able to see the times. And then I'm glad Mark's here because we're going to see his car. So you see how we're setting the bar up. So I'm going to give you guys some examples of what a factory, just barely hopped up Mega G Plus car to a factory Viper V-Spec with just a GT40 body on it. And then a few more upgrades is what Mark's done and added a Lexan bat body to it. And just to kind of show you the speed difference that we're playing with here. And then as a bonus, like I said, I'm glad that Rick's here. I'm glad that hopefully Matt is here with Manchild Motorsports. And then hopefully Ed shows up because I've got all 5 of those cars sitting right here. And the goal is to show that these are all what I call my V-Spec Viper Killer TYCOs. And they're the ones that run as good as a stock V-Spec or in some cases better. And as any of you build cars know, you can use the exact same parts on the exact same chassis and do everything exactly the same, but that doesn't mean every car is going to run exactly the same. That's just bottom line. That's just the way it is. So what I try to do is to get them to run at least within the 10th of a second of each other, and I try to do that within 5 or 10 laps. And then once I make sure that everything's good with a car like that, then I put it away. And Rick had actually sent his back because his rear ends were acting kind of funky, and I got him back, and I could see why. And so I made a couple of changes on those, and I hope he's going to be pleasantly surprised. And then, like I said, Matt had asked me to do a wide pan and a narrow pan for him, and he actually sent me 4 arms, and I tried every combination that I could try to get those things to run as good as my V-Specs, and I couldn't get within 3/10 to 4/10 of a second. And so I reached out to him and I said, they're fast, but they're, a Viper is still going to smoke them, and a stock V-Spec is still going to smoke them. I mean, as an example, around my track, it usually takes around 3.5 seconds for a V-Spec Viper. And if you're a half a second slow in 7 laps, you're going to be a lap down. And that's if you're max best lap time every single time. So that's a huge amount. It doesn't sound like a lot, but as Mark can tell you, when you're racing, that adds up fast. And so that's why I do that. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Rossi, I'm glad you're here, man. See, there you go. The level 6 magnets all over the place. There you go. No matter the parts. Yep, that's exact. So that's why I wanted to point out to everybody, just because every single one of the ones that I built, one may be faster than the other. I want to point out, like I just mentioned, that just because I use the same parts on the same chassis, on the same everything, doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to run exactly the same. And the second thing that I'm going to point out is that Rick's cars should run a little better than the other 3 right off the bat, just because they had more lap time on them, because I spent a lot of extra time making sure I got those things tweaked perfectly. And then I did the same thing to Matt's with Manchild, and I did the same thing with Ed's because I didn't have internet last night. And so last night I played on my track, and I had a grand old time just tuning and testing cars. So it was a fun old time for me all by myself. My phone internet connection is so shitty with my normal phone service that I can't even watch YouTube videos without it spinning and trying to load. So it was a good night for me to spend some time in here tweaking, and it really paid off. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Mark. Yeah, see, there you go. See, and there's a perfect example. Is I tried one set of motor magnets on one car that were supposed to be the same level, and for some reason it was just 3/10 slower. Nothing I could do to. I mean, I pushed it as much as I could, and it wouldn't change. And so I swapped out the motor magnets with the exact same what Viper has on their little packages. As if any of you order parts, you know, they look like, you know, they come in packages like this. I swapped them out with the exact same level motor magnets, stuck them in there, reassembled the car, put it on the track, and it was actually 4/10 faster than it was before. Nothing else changed. I used the same shoes, same string, same brushes, same everything. All I did was change those motor magnets. So motor magnets, and I didn't get out my gauze meter, but I set those aside because I want to test them. Go whoop them all. Yeah, and I was going to say I got Roski's on there because he wanted to see his car run, and there's a couple of things I'm going to point out before I run all of those cars in case you guys weren't aware, because just because, like I was explaining to Adam, and Mark has already found this out, I'm sure, magnet area is just as important as magnet strength. Lifelike, yeah. Roski's is a lifelike. Yeah. Motor magnets. Like I said, mine varied enough to on my track. Like I said, and I have enough laps that I can kind of feel something funky, and it just didn't have no oomph. So compared to the others that I just got through building and running, and like I said, it was consistently 3/10 of a lap slower, and that's as fast as I could get. And I was like, nope, that's without that's out of my 1/10 of a second range. So basically, I try to build a car that they're all going to be within a tenth of a second faster or slower than 3.5 seconds on my track. Cool. Yeah, no, those life likes, man, they fly. And then I'm going to point out personally one of the what I think is one of the flaws with them, and it's one of the flaws that I'm going to point out also on the Mega G Pluses. And I didn't. This isn't something that Scott is just some magnet guru. This is stuff that I learned from Mr. Terry at Hardin Creek. Like I said, very smart cookie. I can't remember the exact title of the video that he did it on, but he actually shows you that a Viper level 4 magnet holds just as strong or stronger than a level 52 magnet on a Mega G Plus. And so the numbers, don't mean anything. It's the gauze strength and how they're rated. But the reason why he shows that is because even though the gauze strength was stronger on the Neo magnets than it was on the stock Viper B specs, they have more surface area. And so even if they have less, and if you have more of that less than a little dot or a little rectangle in the Mega G Plus's case, you're instantly going to be able to hold the rail better because there's more surface area getting tugged on versus a little pinpoint on the rail itself. And Terry actually shows the gauze readings with his gauze meter, showing you the difference in the strength and how much stronger those little neo magnets are. But then he's got a little tension meter that he shows when he puts them on the track, and it gives a reading on how much pressure it took to lift the car off the track. And it's amazing how you would think something with almost twice the gauze strength, which is what they call the strength of the magnets, it's measured in gauze. In case you guys are wondering why I keep referencing that, that something that almost has twice the gauze would not have the same strength as something half as strong, but it has like 4 times the surface area. Exactly, Mark. Ride or die with a stock traction magnet. Don't knock it before you lose to it. Since, like I said, I'm real far away from the camera, and now that I've talked about it, I'll give an example. because Roski's car hugs the track. There's no doubt. So you got the Mega G Plus, which hit real far away. So let's see what I can do about zooming this in. Yeah, they had them on sale, Adam. They were actually cheaper. Yeah, I love the lifelike. It's just the A parts and B the magnet size. So you can see that the magnet size there on the Mega G Plus. We all have one. It's just that little itty bitty rectangle. And these are stock magnets. Like I said, we'll run the car. And then this is Roski's car with the lifelike. And you can see they just got those two little itty bitty circles right there on either side. And trust me, guys, it sucks down on the track hard. A lot harder than this one does by far. But what I'm talking about is the actual surface area, and you can see how long the traction magnets are on the Viper V-Spec. And so that even goes for your TYCOs too. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, thanks, Mayor, for pointing that out. You know, like I said, I try not to harp on everybody, but yeah, if you could give me the thumbs up, that'd be great. Is there a standard to check the meter as far as a calibration standard? Rick, that's a good question. Basically, what I found is no two magnets are exactly the same, no matter what I use as far as a Gauss meter. But what I do find is that I can group certain strengths of magnets together based on their strengths. So that's why I kept that one set of level what was it, Pro 8 motor magnets, and I kept them out to the side because I want to take my Gauss meter out and I want to see how much weaker they were compared to the ones that are another pair that came back out. That way I can kind of get a range on and get an idea if my Gauss meter is reading this on a motor magnet, then I can expect a certain time out of the car. And if it's anything less than that, then it's going to be slower. Anything more than that, and it's going to be faster. So pair the magnets, exactly. Yep, there you go, Mark. Yeah, that's what Terry points out at Hardin Creek. So I strongly suggest I gave you the layman's hillbilly version. Go to Terry at Hardin Creek HC Slots on his page on YouTube sometime whenever you have some extra time flipping through channels, and go to his page, check out that video, and he'll show you the nuts and bolts of everything that I just talked about how these little itty magnets really suck down. But when the car, as we all know, the faster you go, the ass end tries to slide out. A car with more magnet area is going to have an advantage every time. And like I pointed out to Adam, that's why, and even Mark knows, because he used them in his car, that they make what they call the max wedge. And it's hard for me to show you this far away. But anyway, they make more of a V out so that when your car gets out of shape more, it's got that extra area to hold on to the rail. So, like I said, even Viper understands, and the people that made those magnets understand that it's all about the area. It's not necessarily about the overall strength of the magnet. You pry them off the rails, yeah. Works great. Yep. So, let's see here. We're only 20 after. So you guys want me to? Hey, there you go, yeah, but I got your email too, buddy, and I'll get you that link. They should not be that strong, Dick. There's someone that's bigger, and that would be my first thought. And so you guys have to tell me, hey, Scotty, thanks for joining in, man. Long time no see, man. I'm going to add the other to the stage, and I've got two ways that you guys can view it. And I'm going to pull up the other camera that's going to show the track, so you guys are going to tell me which view you like better. We've got that view or that view. Hey, thank you, Chris. second view, you guys like this view better when you're up close to the lanes? Yeah, because this is the first view that shows the whole track, but then you can't hardly see the numbers. This one kind of zooms it in, and you can see the action track part of the corners right there. That's where I mainly wreck. Yeah, I don't. Since I wasn't able to use the OBS, I had to go with the StreamYard route, and they don't give me the option to play with the sizes. So as soon as I can get OBS to recognize my second camera, then I will try to go back to it, and then I can fill a whole small picture-in-picture with the lap times. It should be that clear. So let's see here. I'm going to recast it to my TV so I can actually see what's going on without having to look at the computer screen, because I figured out how to get rid of the glare off the TV, and that was don't look at the TV, put it on the computer, because I have to have the computer for my bias to. Your old eyes need the bigger size. Yeah, that's what I feel you, my friend. I feel you. Oh, yeah, I feel you. But what I did want to point out before we went going, I do have a car on the track now. You can see this is my blue lane right here. I go red, white, blue, yellow, just like the standard Cobra colors. And then this is an Auto World exclusive, limited production Ford Escort that they sold like 1 of 1,000 of 8 or something like that. But I really like those Escorts, so I wanted to try to get some of them to have like this so I could get a IROC series of them going. And I'm one away from doing it, but that's a whole other story. So this is the car that I was using to play around with in the blue lane. And I can swap back and forth and show both sides, whenever we get some lap times in there, and then show the whole track. So that's to give you an idea. Now, everything that you see in the white lane was done by Viper TYCO V-Spec killers. And like I said, they're not necessarily killers per se, because they run as good as, or sometimes in some cases better than, the Viper. And so, and then also a lot of that's going to depend on the body that you put on it, because I don't test them with the body on there, because I don't want to destroy, like in this case, these two cars are bricks. And last thing I want to do is crash up his Davey Allison or his Jeff Gordon and trash it. So I test all the cars chassis-less. So these two are Ricks, these two are matched with Man-Child Motorsports, and this one is Ed's. And we'll go right in that order after we get done with we'll do my little demonstration to show you how we're working up to speed, then I'll clear out the lap times. But the last TYCO Viper killer that I ran, you can see there, I actually ran 2 of them in the white lane. Well, believe it or not, I hope it shows up on the camera, Mark, but they throw sparks pretty good with those TYCOs, with those brushes and with those shoes. One can crash. Yeah, well, see, that's just it. Is I've got several of them that I can crash, but it all depends. Like I said, if I start tuning a car with that body on it and they throw another body on it, then it just screws up. And so that's why I give a lap time with the body off. And then, as you found out, once I threw that Indy body on yours, it only slowed it down a little bit. And that's another thing I want to point out too is depending on the body is going to depend on how well the car runs. And Mark will be the first to tell you that's why he puts Lexan bodies on all of his cars, because weight matters. So anyway, after all that rambling and rambling, I'll clear out the white lane, and then I'll be able to put my money where my mouth is. So basically, all 5 of those cars are the 43 laps that you see there in the white lane. And you can obviously see when I started the lap, like at 8.8 something, and then you can see where I got into the 350s, 340s, and then I switched cars and went to another car. So let's clear out that lane, and I'm going to start off with the Mega G Plus Mustang. It has 1 extra traction magnet and some Viper tire. And I'm a little away from the thing, but I'll try to. I'm a Viper killer. That's nice. So, okay. Well, I forgot. I gotta get this put on my TV. So just for whatever reason, it quit passing. I gotta be able to see my laptop. Sorry. Yay! And then I did have the TV volume up, and when I was playing with it earlier, I was able to hear her talk. Yeah. These things are, like Mark will tell you, that you got to get used to driving a car. After driving those fast cars, driving the slow cars, I got to get used to it. All right. Yeah, so it runs in the mid fours, basically. To give you an example, now we're going to move up to what I run, and this is my one that I run in our Viper class, and I call this one the Shadow. It's on a GT40 body that's been severely maimed. And with Mark's recommendation, I'll stand up here as soon as I clean them. I put a set of albinos on it, and those are their hardest tire, and I like them. Well, the ones that we're playing with on my TYCOs are the same arms that like the one that I sent to you. Okay, I'm going to stop so you guys can hear me. Uh, 3.5, I believe, is what they come out to, Mark. 3.7, something like that, is the one that I tested. I think that you ended up with. I can't even buy them anymore. So what I was going to say is I'm going to make sure that I get this car to run at least a 3.5 something before I move on to Mark's car. And because I know I can do that in this car no matter what. Just bear with me. Doing it by yourself and doing it with everybody watching live and trying to talk is a whole different ballgame. So I ran a couple of 350 something, 355, I think. Yeah. Not a fair test. Hey, it was a TYCO arm, is what they told me. Hot stock. I have no control over what they wound it. I just have control over how they sold it. And in case you guys have missed it, this next car is for Mark himself, Mr. Mark SLOTCAR Garage. This is one that a biker B-spec that he's added Steve's custom aluminum rims to, that for bikers and for TYCOs, that you can get a hold of Steve down in the description of the video below. And then he's added a Lexan body to it, some of those nice magnets, and it looks like some silver shoes. That I just now noticed because I've been running the piss out of it. So, so we're going to see how much faster this thing is with those few little hop-ups, and I can already tell you it is. It would not be close. No, you're right. You'll have to take the ohm meter to it and tell me what it is. Oops. See, I can't race and talk. See? Yeah. It doesn't take very long for me to get into the 350s with this one. It's a little easier to drive. And I already ran a 344.3 in it. We're going to give him a few more laps because I got him into the 330s earlier. They were silver. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. This is why this car, for right now, holds the track record on my track. Oh, crash and burn. So yeah, there you guys all saw it live. It ran a 322. I have gotten that car down to 301. So I can put some albinos on that car. Okay. And a little 436. All right, no, we'll give it a try, and then we'll make that another live video when I'm doing the track, and then we'll just show the run the car like it is, and then we'll throw some of those albinos on it, and we'll go to it, man. No, that's why I wanted these two cameras, so we could do stuff like this, so I could do stuff and show it off, show the differences and stuff. So you can see Mark's car is a lot faster than a stock B-spec with a hard body on it. And once again, awesome car, buddy. Thank you so much for giving me this. I love it. I brag about it all the time. And then you saw how a little bit slower my Shadow was. And obviously, both of them were over a second faster around my track than the stock Mega G Plus with one extra traction magnet on the Mustang there. So there's the king of the hill. And then there's my car right there next to it. And now, this is the Roski's. This is on the Lifelike. And I'm going to give the tires a clean, and we're going to see what I can get out of it. If it were to be even faster, yeah. Hey, man, he built it to race, so I run that thing. I like playing with it. Makes my car easier to drive because it's a little slower. Skip lanes. I need to actually modify your body. I can hear your front end scraping bad. Well, here, let me get rid of this real quick, and it'll kind of show. You can see the bank corners on the right have my wood that I've cut, and they're attached. And then these are the supports that I got from the other guy, the MX-69 there, right next to Manchild. And I love them. I just got to find a way to get everything leveled out the way I want it, and then mount the track permanently down. And I need to add his information on how to get a hold of those on eBay from him, because those are some kick-ass things. For the one suggestion I'm going to make to him is that he needs to make a attachment to hold them down like he does for the smaller supports. But other than that, I love them. Since I was killing bugs on the back 40 with my parents, I didn't get a chance to mount my controller holder. So hopefully by Saturday night, you guys can all see Matt with Manchild Motorsports. You can see his controller holders all across the track. And Roski, if yeah, your Lexan body is so low in my bank corners, that's what's scraping. So I'm having to watch myself in the banks. We're going to give her another few more laps. I got to learn my limits with it. I haven't ridden it. So I want to do it live. Doing it too soon. While it's off, I'm going to clean the tires again. I got to help those little itty bitty magnets out as much as I can. Hey, James. All right, Paul. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, honestly, I think half my curves on my track are banked and the other half are not. I think I got about a 50-50 split. I haven't actually counted it, so someone just said that. It made me think about it. Oh, wow. There we go. All right, Roski. Clean tires again. Body reattached. About 380s, 390s, somewhere in there. And honestly, I think if I got to shave off some of that body, I could help it because it's trying to lift through the corners. So thank you, man, for bringing that out to test. And if you want me to, I can take some sandpaper to the bottom of that Lexan and just shave it just enough, or I can return it to you back just as is. But honestly, I think even if I did that, I wouldn't be able to shave more than a tenth or two. So this is still pretty damn fast. So tell everybody in the chat what you did to it, if it's just stock with the Lexan body or. Hey, G-Bud. A lot of salute going on. Yeah. So yeah, Roski, if you could tell everybody what you did to your car, or what you haven't done to the car. I know you've got a Lexan body on it, but I don't know much about Lifelike to tell anybody what else is done. It's a runner, that's for sure. Yeah. Wow. It's yours for change tires and Lexan. Got to send me an email, Roski. You got me confused. So, Rick, are you still with us? If you are, I'll throw one of your chassis on next. And now that we've got an idea that Mark's car ran a 322, my stock B-spec with a hard body ran in the 350s. Roski's car with the lifelike with the Lexan ran in the 380s. And then the slowest car we've seen tonight is the Mega G Plus with one extra traction and some Viper tires. And it was running in the mid fours. All right, Rick. Well, let's throw one of yours on. Oh, for auction. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. I'll work on that Lexan body, and then we'll show people what we can get that thing to do, and then that way they can see it live and what to do. Hey, Toju, thanks for stopping in, man. So I know you guys can kind of see my arm here, so I just pulled the body off of it. I just set it there. So this is Rick's, and this one actually has 420 O-ring with a solid razor front end, and then I modified to get this thing to be nice and smooth. I pulled the pinion, just so Rick knows how I fixed his cars. I pulled the pinion out and used a new smaller size pinion gear, and now this thing spins like butter. So, as Mark will tell you, like I said, just because parts say they all will work together, that doesn't always mean they will. And if you can tweak some parts, you can actually make a car a whole lot faster. And so this has one of my mystery hopped up. It's supposed to be hot stock 6-ohm arms. They tested anywhere from 5 to 4 to 3 to 8, somewhere in there. So they're not all consistent. So it's hard for me to get them running all of the same. But that's not a good way to start. I did both, actually, Rick. I found some narrows that were the right height for the rears, so I could keep the double flange hubs on one of them, and then I changed the hubs on the other rear end so I could use the wide tires. Trying to be nice to it, but I also want to show it off. This car runs really good. If the driver could drive it, you know, high performance car, low performance driver, and that's how it always works. Oh, hey, ran a 346 with it. Okay. Oh, well, here live, I can actually see the sparks from the shoes. So that's how I keep track of it. So there's one of your cars, Rick. And just so you guys know, it was that chassis right there that you saw that ran the 330. So That thing ran a 346 right there with me doing it live. It'll do the 330s again whenever I'm not live. Loosen up behind the wheels. I see a blur. Yeah. Oh, it's smooth, Rick. No, I'm hoping you're happy, my friend. I hope it runs really good on your new track. And congratulations again on getting that. So the difference in the two chassis, and I'm going to try to show them here. The only two differences is the rear end on this one is a Viper dual flange Delrin hub that I modified with their different set of tires on the rear end to bring it up because their stock 438s are too low and it drags, and then change the pinion gear. This one, I use the same old Wizard pinion gear I use on all of them, and then this is a rear end that I'd actually built with single flange hubs and a factory type gear spacer on there, like with TYCO, where the Viper uses their little black one. So obviously less rotating weight, but you'll see the cars run very similarly. You're officially old. Hey, sometimes you can't reach. This one runs just as good. Once again, we got to get the driver to drive it. Those were the two cars that you saw on the screen before I cleared it out. Because these were the last two that I tested before. Put everything away last night. Just make sure that everything There you go, Rick. Scott's house with HO insurance. Exactly, Paul. Yeah. So there you go, buddy. I'm sorry about the wait. I'm sorry that they arrived kind of choppy. But I hope they were well worth your wait. Oh, yeah. Well, you just saw, I mean, I ran a 335 with it. And you know, obviously, if you threw a Lexan body on it, that had a little bit of weight. That put it right there with Mark's car. And it's definitely faster than a stock V-spec, which with a hard body, which was mine. So they run pretty good. I'm impressed with them. I mean, you guys can see one of them had narrow tires, one of them had wide tires, and they both ran almost identical. So I don't know if that whole wide tire, narrow tire thing's a bunch of hokey or not. So I think it just kind of depends on your preference. Roski, well, thanks, Rick. Yeah, no, man, like I said, I hope you're happy. That's why I wanted to do this live for you. And Roski, it's 69 and like 69 and a half feet. You know, for 2 lanes, obviously. And this one is the first one for Matt with Manchild Motorsports. So, Matt, if you're still with us, this is your car. That car flies too. But here's the difference. That's a narrow pan. And you notice what I do with it? 332, which is a tenth of a second slower than Mark's car. So yeah, it flies. We'll stop right there. That's your car, buddy. So you saw it run just a tenth of a second slower than Mark's top fifth Viper. Pretty good. Put a Lexan body on it, and I'm sure you can run right there with it. Roski, don't be disappointed, man. Everybody's track is different, and every car handles different on every track. That's why I'm showing them on my track. So if they don't run as good on their tracks, then they'll go, well, you know, let's set up for Scott's track and not mine. So that was your narrow pan. And then now you're going to see the difference between just this little bit of weight, because everything's the same on both these cars. They both have the wide built rear ends that I built with a single hub for the wide tires. But the only difference is one's a wide and one's a narrow. And we just watched his narrow pan, and this is his wide pan. Oh, I'm leaving marks up there because I want to see if we accidentally break it. You notice I said accidentally, Mark. I don't want to clear it. No, I don't think any of these cars, honestly, I was kind of surprised that Matt's car just popped off that 332 with me sitting here. So, even sometimes guys do cars get surprised. See, this one handles just a little different because it's a little heavier. It's crazy. Mark will tell you, man, weight makes a difference. That's why I was curious. I'm going to get a hold of Steve. I'm going to try to get a hold of some of those magnesium wheels that he got you. Especially when you said they were lighter than the aluminum. Well, Matt, trust me, I had this one in the 350s and the 340s, so we'll try to get it there, but I'm not going to wear out your car trying to do it. But if I can get into the 350s, which I'm really close to, we'll call it good. Every time I try to touch that corner, it hits me. So I hope I'm not boring you guys to death, but I warned you whenever I do cars and stuff like this, it's hard for me to keep up with the chat stuff. Yeah, I think if I played with this narrow pan some more, I think I could. But that wouldn't really be fair unless I threw a Lexan body on it, because that's what Mark's car has on it. Like I said, I know every little ounce of weight or grain of weight in this case, when you're doing an open chassis like this, makes a difference. All right. I'm going to give it a few more laps after I clean the tires, and then we're going to settle for the 360s somewhere in there because I don't want to keep running this car and wearing it out. It's driver error now. I keep wrecking in the same spot because I'm trying to push it in certain spots that I know I can pick up speed. Oh, blue oval? No, one of Rich's cars would probably blow me away. No, Mayor, I haven't gotten over the under the 2 seconds. Mark Star's the closest at 3:01. Yeah, 3:0, Mark. You're right, buddy. Like I said, it's right there. I'm right there in the 2 second zone. I think if I'm going to get some of those albino tires and take that hike tip and do some tests and see if we can't crack it. We'll do that next week. I'm going to show. I'll try to lure them in. All right. I'm not going to keep crashing this car on the same corner because that's where I pick up a lot of my speed and I know where I can. I'm trying to get it quicker. I'm not going to keep wrecking this car and wearing it out. So 360s is within my 10 of the 350 range. But as you run this more, it will get faster, like Rick's did. When they start breaking in. Oh yeah, no man. That's the thing about those Super 3s. They run really fast. They just don't have enough magnet underneath. And then the last one that we have here that I'm going to run, I'll get it out here. I guess you guys can see me. This one's for Ed, and then this is the last variation that you're going to see of my builds that I've done out of these 5 chassis. And this one, he didn't want a razor front end, and so I put together a single flange Delrin front end on it. And I didn't know if it was going to be what kind of car it was for, so I kind of went with a medium size, if you can kind of tell from my holding it up. And so this one's definitely going to run different than everything that you've seen here. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that the razor front ends are worth a 10th of a second on my track. So the goal is to try to get this one close to 360, 350 if at all possible. That's how much of a difference the weight and being able to get that less rolling resistance. Yep, there we go, about 360s. Pretty consistent too. So there you got to see some people that had actually asked me to do some cars. The bad news is I've literally only got a few of these arms that I've been using in these cars left. And what I have left, I'm going to build one, like Rusty said, to auction off and try to use a Lexan body that he's going to provide for it. And then the others I'm saving for an IROC class for my TYCOs. But don't let that discourage you because I am ordering some more arms that I think will be able to get us back to where this is and maybe even faster. If you're a TYCO fan, so inclined. So I hope I didn't embarrass myself too badly there, but like I said, Rick, Matt, Ed, hope you guys are happy with your cars. Trying to scroll up and catch up on the chat a little bit. Thank you to everybody who showed up. 36 people. Cool. No, Matt, Magi, that's what I've been trying to do with this channel ever since I got the other camera. It's just yours truly not being able A, to figure out how to get stuff to work, and then B, finally you know, getting it to do it. So yeah, so those are the cars that I had planned on running tonight to show off, kind of give examples of the different cars. Once again, thank Mark for his badass car. I always want to show it off because, like I said, it is the current track record holder for speed, the 3.01. And you see the track that it got run on. That was the lane that it was ran in. I run all the cars in the same lane. And like I said, when I build a car, I try to make sure they're within a tenth of a second. And I just know that the more I ran Rick's car, they got faster. So I know that after some more break-in, maybe even Mark can help me out there after he ran my car, that I gave him some more laps if it started getting any quicker or not. But all cars seem to do that once the brushes start getting seated and everything starts getting together. So all cars pick up a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, cool. Thank you, man. No, I love doing it. Like I said, this was a part of the information of the channel that I wanted to try to do, was the education part, was showing, and that's why doing this very same dual camera setup. And if I can get the OBS software to work, then we'll have that big view of the camera with a little picture of the timing system. And so hopefully you'll get a whole view of the track and seeing the car go around instead of just a certain spot of a blur. But this one here is the one that we're gonna. I got the chassis, and it's going to start off as a stock Viper V spec, just like the Shadow is, and then just like Mark did with his car, I'm going to start adding parts to it. But before I add those parts, we're going to baseline it, and then once I add the parts, then I'll show everybody how much faster, how much slower it made it, whatever. And I'm just going to keep going with that thing, and then try to catch up to where a lot of the guys are that we race those Vipers with. They've already added the traction magnets. They've already added the independent front ends on them. Like I said, I'm bone stock. All I've done is change to those albino tires. And so far, I don't feel the need to upgrade my car that I race. So that's why we're going to do this one. And that way I'll have mine ready to go whenever those guys actually start beating my lap times with my car. So we'll be able to, we're going to do this one as a hopped up thing. And one of the things I thought would be kind of cool is since I'm a big TYCO guy, and I know a lot of people that watch the channel are, I thought about taking an hour or whatever, 2 hours, whatever it may be, but just showing everybody when I take a chassis like this, and then when I turn it into what we just watched, and then showing everybody that process. It's not like what I did with the one that Rick bought and the one that Steppy bought whenever I auctioned those off. And so if you've seen that video, it's almost identical. The only difference is this time I'm changing the arms. Where on those, that's what I call my silver package. And I basically use the stock arm and then just max it out with everything that I can around it. Yeah, that's the thing I love about the OBS. I just could not get it to recognize my Logitech camera, and it did earlier whenever I tested it. For whatever reason, I just got the gray screen camera with a slash through it. This is the I think OS3 Lite is what they call this one. If Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what I got. I got their IROC series, Rick. They sell 4 of them: red, white, blue, and yellow. And the white is actually not white; it's clear, and that's what I bought for my track. And then the one that I was running with, I've got this one. I've got an OS3 over there that you can see over there in the corner that's red. And then I've got this one. I've got this one set up to run like my Vipers and stuff. And I've got that one over there set up to run Mega G Plus. And so that way I don't have to twist the dial and fine tune anything. I've got them right where I want them. All I got to do is just swap them over. And for this little test, since we were mainly doing hopped up cars, I figured I could just wing it with the Mega G Plus. Oh, nice. Yeah, Moondog. Yeah, no. Whenever you get all that going, or even show people, because I know other people would like to see that. And there's another test that I'm going to be doing that I'll show it, and that is Jag Hobbies. As many of you know, make Mega G Plus body replacement chassis. And I went and I bought one for my yellow #1, since they have that new body insert only clip. And then I found out real quick that I'm sure most of you have that the car is faster than the traction magnets. And so I noticed they were a little bigger than a standard Mega G or Mega G Plus traction magnet, but I didn't care. I went ahead and shoved them in there and then just wedged them in as far as I could in the back. When it crashed, it threw them out, and they're somewhere on the track somewhere. But before it did that, this thing ran like a bandit. So I'm going to throw some more of those traction magnets in it, and then I'm going to dab some hot glue on the sides where the magnets slide into. In case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, the magnets slide in from the side on the Jag chassis. So once I get the magnets in there, I'm going to put a little dab of hot glue in there, and then show you guys what I got this bad boy to run with, because I was in shock. This thing runs way better than the Mega G Plus, and it reminded me of the Mega G, to be quite honest. Rick, I honestly like my OS3 Lite better because it's not as top heavy. See the I like this one's bigger handle, but I don't like all this crap sitting out on top and making it top heavy. So this one, to me, even though the handle's smaller, I like it better. But it's just honestly, if I had this handle on this controller without all this crap, it'd be perfect. But if I was to buy my own, I'd go back with the OS3. But I do like the TYCO. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I don't like that top heavy crap on top. It always seems to get in the way whenever you're trying to do stuff. Yeah, so I like these Jags. I was playing with one of them, and then I got one of their I don't know which one this one is. Oh, this is the hopped up version of that what I just showed you, and I did stick some hopped up magnets on in this one, and they've stuck. And then I also threw on some Viper M series tires and lowered it down. Hey, Rich. Yeah, there's adjustments on the light, Rick, right there. It's got a dial just like they do. And the one thing I always point out to people is that, like on your tracks, that you may be wiring it for brakes. The OS3 light comes with brakes. I just don't have them wired in on my track. And you have to step up the next higher price TYCO to get brakes added. So to me, this is just a better value all the way around. And honestly, that's the only difference I found. You can still fine tune it however you like, and that's why I've got one set up for one set of car chassis and one set up for the other set of car chassis. And I mean, I could swap them either way. It's just I love them. Yeah, so this is a little hopped up version of the Jag that they sell. I can't remember their names for it, but I put some lower tires on it that are stiffer, and put some level 52 traction magnets in this little bitch, and it flies. But let's see if we can get anything out of it while it's here. Been talking about. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera around so you guys can see what I'm doing. And there's the other thing too. If you're into the band counting, the OS3 has more bands than the TYCO. To me, honestly, when you're setting up with the knob, I've not noticed that the different amount of bands makes a difference, but that's just me. Some people might. But I'm going to move the camera around where you guys can see the track, and then I'll run a few laps like we did with the that Jag. That was totally unexpected, but What did it run? Yeah, 360s, 350s. That's about what I got it run normally. So. Yeah. So like I said, I'll be doing some more testing on this bad boy just to see how fast I can get it to run. Pretty impressive for the price, though. I have to admit, even though I did add some parts to it to would technically make the price go up. We're probably up to around the $40 range now, or 35, or between 35 and $40 in parts added to it. But even then, you're still coming in at less than a Viper, and right around the Super 7. All right. Well, since we ran the cars first, now we'll get into the normal Monday night slot cars. That's why I want to do the cars first, because I know everybody's got to get back to work if you've got a long weekend or whatever. And I knew I'd probably lose people the longer as the show went on. So I want to do the exciting stuff first. And then for those people that are loyal enough to stick around or don't mind staying all the way till the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in your case if you're on Eastern Standard Time, then I would go ahead and do the normal Monday night slot car show and kind of just tie it all in together. So this week's set, if you couldn't tell by the caption, is the lighted stalkers. And it comes with the two Thunderbirds on HD7 chassis. And part number 6631 if you're interested. And 1984 is when this was released. So 1624, it's 40 years old is how old this is now. They came with the two lighted HP7 chassis. Let's throw one on here and see if I can even make a lap. And if I can, then I'll put the camera on. The first time I ran this car on the track. Oh, well, it about made it. I'm going to do it anyway. So you guys are always Slot Car League of Champions isn't in here, but he's always telling me to get him on the track. So this is to him. So here's the mighty Thunderbird HB7 with his stock tires. Oh, couldn't even make it through the bank. How embarrassing. Oh, couldn't make it through the other bank. Well, she needs tires. At least a while ago, it made it part of the way around the track. I'll clean them and see if we can't get it to make a lap. Just a second here. All right, well, I cleaned those old original rubbery tires the best I can. See if we can't make a lap. And the answer is no. No, we cannot make a lap. We can't even make it through the high bank corner. All right, I'm not going to torture everybody doing that. So there we go. Now we know. Not fast enough for Snake Hill Speedway. Is that right, Mark? Or Mike, I'm sorry, yeah. All right, get the camera up there. So you saw me try to make a lap in this bad boy, and obviously I'm not even going to try in this one if I can't get this one to go around the track, because both their tires are just as hard as the other. And until I put that on the track, that's the first time this thing had ever even hit the track. So because unless someone changed the shoes on it, because it was showing brand new. So pretty cool. So those are both the Thunderbirds, TYCO Goodyear, and then the TYCO Monroe is what these are listed as. Pretty cool. And I'm a Ford guy, so you know that was right up my alley. And then while I was digging that Saturday that I mentioned that I found the Howard Johnsons, I was trying to find the Dremel. I had two of them and a big thing of bits, and I still can't find it. But anyway, I stumbled across another box that I completely forgot about because I've already filled up my room, and I never imagined that this room was going to turn into what it turned into. Just so you know, I never started and said, "Oh, I plan on covering every wall." No, I never started that. It was an addiction, and it turned into a bad or a good addiction, whichever way you want to look at it. I think it's a good one. But anyway, that's how this room evolved. But I originally thought that I would like Rich's slot car room. He's got a train, I believe it's O gauge, that runs around the top of his ceiling, around on the walls, all the way around his room. And that was my goal, but I was going to do that with an HO scale train and do that with my old train stuff. I think Rich fell asleep. I'll take that as a compliment. Well, it is a compliment, man. No, I learn something every time I watch your little rebuilds and stuff. And so, obviously, I stick with the stock car theme or slot car theme on most everything that I do here with the channel. But I originally purchased this stuff back when I first got back into slot cars because I thought that I would be having a said train run around the truck. Hey, Josh. And I was able to dig out. There's the pin station engine. And I got a couple of the pin station passenger cabins. And then I'm getting to the cool stuff. I know this is a slot car channel, but it's still HO. It has the trucking depot. Obviously, I need to get a truck, but everything else is still in there, still in the box. So that's pretty cool. Got the log dump, and this is brand new. It's just been all opened up and moved around because I wanted to look at it. And those come with little remote controls so that you can dump them in case you're wondering. Oh, thanks, Paul. Like I said, I know it's off the beaten path, but that's what I do on the Monday nights. It's not always necessarily slot cars. It's just anything that's like HO related. And when I came across this, I was like, you know what? This will probably bring back a lot of memories to a lot of guys because I know it brought back some to me. And here's the ore dump station. Pretty cool. And then the last action type thing that's in that box that I'll show off here is the maintenance and crane. So the crane actually moves, which is cool, up, down, left, right. And then obviously these are for repairing tracks and stuff. So, that was pretty cool. And then besides the pin, it came with the Union Hawkstar, the Soul line, in scale. Yeah. See, I didn't realize that in scale is actually becoming very popular because of its size being so micro. I'm an HO guy, but I didn't know that. Burlington Northern. And then the last thing that was in this box is the El Capitan ATSF, the alternate coach Chicago, San Francisco line or something like that. So, like I said, I know it's not normal slot car stuff, but it is HO, it is TYCO. So, it's all in the TYCO type family and stuff like that. And if your childhood was anything like my childhood, you had to train at some point in time, or you wanted to train at some point in time. And so either way, I thought I'd show that off since I got it. I don't know that I'm ever going to have room to put them up and run them like I originally intended. But it's always nice to know that I've got stuff. Oh yeah, no, I know, dude. There's other brands that whenever I was looking at the time, shit, it's been 8 years. That's how long that stuff's been sitting in the box until I opened it up and saw what was in it. And I thought, oh, cool. Oh yeah, Ken's missing out. Yeah. No problem, man. No, that's why I do this channel. Like I tell everybody, I said I know if I have a memory of some of this stuff that most of the people were within a 20-year range of my age, and they'll remember it too. And so stuff like this reminds me of my childhood, like when I was playing with my Hot Wheels, and then I moved into slot cars, and I still had my train track. I can remember to this day, whenever I showed off my original engine that Santa brought me, Chattanooga or something like that. Anyway, whenever I used to set up my slot car tracks, I used to set up a train track around it and go underneath it and make the race track go over it. And, I used to do it all, and then it turned into a real hassle to keep up with all those little train clips to do all the rails together. And next thing you know, I was more concerned with racing the slot cars than I was having a train going around the track while I was racing my cars. Hell, I got done early. I didn't plan on. I didn't think I'd get done this early. Court batting to tack the track down to. Oh yeah, no. If I ever have the space and the time, because I've still got to finish doing all this diorama stuff and getting everything mounted and attached. He has more life than her. Yeah, I mentioned to him that he wanted to check in on Monday night. He said something he was going to be out drinking in a bar. That's all right. I'm too old for bars. Every time I don't drink, but even though I go to like a restaurant like Applebee's or Chili's or something like that, and they have the bar and you can see people in there, and then you look at yourself, and you look at them, and you're like, I would be like the creepy old dude sitting in there with all the people half his age, and I'm not going to be that dude, because if you look at every one of those, there is one of those creepy old dudes sitting in the bar. So. Sure, rub it in. Crack me up. You guys tell me what you want to do here from here on out. Like I said, I kind of jumped right into the show, and I took away the first half hour of me just rambling in with everybody, because I want to make sure that I got everybody that had purchased a hopped up chassis that had been waiting to see it, and I wanted Rossi to be able to see his car run, and so more cars on the track. Okay. Well, I will take the mayor's advice, and I'll wipe out and I'll put on my Escort that I had, and I'll put it in the white lane. See what we can get on the mighty Escort. Now, Mark, don't get jealous, but this is what you can do to an Auto World X traction chassis. Oh, crash. It even wiped out all the stickers. Never seen that happen before. Happy times cleaning that. I don't know what your idea of fun is, but I'm sensing some sarcasm. Only 2 seconds slower. Yeah. More breaks. Yeah. Oh, nice, G-Bud. Yeah, Ringo with AFX World used to put a little mini camera on one of his cars and run around the track and make commentary and stuff. And since G-Bud's here and he made this Mustang, here's a Super 3 that G-Bud built. We'll stick him on the track. Oh, or maybe we won't. Every time I get it wide open, it slides out of the slot. Oh, that's funny. Let's clean these tires up. Oh, my TV lost the cast for my computer, so I don't even know what it's running. Six O's. Yeah, yeah. I can't even go wide open because those front tires bounce the front end. It would be a lot faster if I could. But see, as soon as I gun it, that's what happens. All right. That was G-Bud. Now here's a bone stock one that Adam sent me because he said he was never going to run it. So see if it has the same problem. Wow, G-Bud's car's a lot faster, and at least it'd make it around the track. So good job, G-Bud. This thing needs some serious work. Yeah, G-Bud's car runs a whole lot better than this one. I think some T-Jets could outrun this thing. That's crazy. I just showed you how good of a tuner G-Bud is. Because that thing had to have a lot of work tuning done to it to make it run as good as it did compared to that factory one. That factory one was slow. Oh no, yours was like twice as fast as the bone stock one. Yeah, well, every time I gun it on those bank corners, it wants to de-slot, so I couldn't. So this is one of the new Alfa Romeos that Adam was nice enough to send to me, and this is bone stock. So let's see what we can do with this. 5 seconds flat. It's not bad. Yeah, so you guys are getting the perfect example of like I was talking about when you set up a car whenever you're building it. You know, you set it up to your track, and then you take it to somebody else's track, and they run like total dog shit or run even better. You just never know. Yeah, guys, when I say this thing's bone stock, I mean it's got the factory tires on it. Everything's factory, so it's running pretty good actually. Hey, Kenny. I hate to take those tires off of that because it looks good with those wiping their tires on it. So it kicked off a 460 in there somewhere. That's not bad. Ran a 447. Yeah, the Alpha F1. Yep. Yeah, that's what this is right here. Yeah. Sorry, I'll get it underneath the light. Oops. Yeah. It's running really good with the factory tires. I'm actually kind of impressed. Ah. Yeah, it makes you want to go faster. I mean, no, this is a smooth running car. I'm impressed. Like I said, okay, same corner every time. All right. Okay, so there we got to see the first the Alfa Romeo F1 bone stock, and here is the Chevy Line Plain Camaro bone stock. And if it's not coming across on the video, I can tell you right now that thing is sitting so low, it's scraping the front end when it goes through my bank corner. Oh, crash and burn. This is the one I'm running now. We'll clean these tires and give him another chance. He's not running nearly as good as the Alpha, but I wouldn't expect him to with all that high center gravity. And then, like I said, the front end scraping. All right. I don't think he's going to run a whole lot faster. He needs some help. I don't know, about 30 minutes. All right. Hey, everybody. Rich is having a barbecue. Let's all meet at his place in about 30 minutes. I'm just saying. I haven't had dinner yet. That sounds good to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take a break for some barbecue. T-bone steak. All right. Hell yeah. Sounds a lot better than the Hardee's I'm getting ready to have. Too late for me to eat dinner. Start drinking Mountain Dew, Mark, and you can eat whenever you want. I'm going to put the Mustang back on there that we started off the show with. And it's got the one extra traction magnet in it. Oh, and it's got Viper tires on it. And you can hear it fits so low that the front end scrapes on it going through the corners too. And I've driven this car a lot more. Here, I'll see if I can. But even the you can see the rail marks starting to get on the front splitter from it dragging through the corners. I'm ready for bed. No, I thought they were both. I thought they were both barbecuing. I'm down for barbecue wherever. Speaking of which, Rich, I didn't see you Saturday night, buddy, but if you get a chance, go back and watch the show and just at least watch the beginning. Put a little Easter egg in my thumbnail for you. Don't know if you caught it or not. Yeah, my Mustang's already lost his wing, but it makes him easier to polish now anyway. Gets rid of some of that high weight. And then here's the Mustang that I put a set of Steve's rims on a Viper. And this is a high wheels Mustang. So it's that pearl white, which is really cool. And I thought it looked really good with those custom rims on it. From Steve, which, once again, if you're interested, he does it for TYCO and for Vipers. Reach out to him. And if you like some of the diorama, like the porta potties or those jersey barriers or the tires, get a hold of Keith Rooster Horton down below. And as the mayor knows, he can set you up. Ah, you're welcome, buddy. Sorry, I didn't get your cars out to you sooner. And see, there's your little thumbnail for your channel, and that was your Easter egg. No. Oh no, I watched your show. Remember Friday night? I was there when you were building it. But you got a package on the way. You should have got the email on Saturday. I think I got an update that you're supposed to get it tomorrow is when you're supposed to get my package. I said, I think. You know my post office. It's always questionable on when stuff's going to arrive. But I'm glad you're here because Adam asked me to show it off, and I haven't done it yet. And this is a kind of a yes, definitely, Rick. Salute to everybody that has anything to do with our military, especially those that pay the ultimate price. Here's something that I don't know that Rich has. And I'll zoom in the camera so we can get a little better look. Cool. No problem, buddy. So, Rich, you're going to have to tell me if you got this card. And if you can see it from this far away, because like I said, I'm really far away from the camera. Well, if any of you are wondering, this is a Porsche 962. This is the Niseki Japanese release-only version. There's only 4 of the Japanese cars that were released. And like I was telling Adam, I never thought that I would own this car at all. I'd already regulated myself to thinking that I was only going to own 6, 4 American and the 2 Japanese that I had. And I was able to pick this bad boy up for $43. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's got a brand new chassis underneath it. This thing looks brand new. So it was a shelf queen. And like I said, Rich knows this is one of 4 Japanese release only cars. And I was very fortunate enough to get it at a very decent price. So like I told Adam, even though I'm still saving money to try to get my car running again, when you get opportunities to own such a rare car, you just can't pass them up. And you don't believe me on how rare these are. I know it says availability of 4, I think, or something like that. But go on eBay and try to find this car and tell me how much money you paid for it. 44 bucks. Oh, he's bidding on it. Oh. 43.50. No, I'm not putting this back over the track. It's brand new. It's never been ran. And I know this was a shelf queen, and that's the way it's going to stay. This is the last one I saw on eBay was $100. That's how rare this car is. Now, whether that's a fair price or not, I don't know, because I never really even thought about trying to find it because I knew how rare it was. So now I'm literally just one of the 962s away, and that's the Japanese Kenwood version, which if you're familiar with the 962 Porsches, the Kenwood in America has a red roof on the top, and the Japanese version has a white roof on the top. Rich wants it. Yeah, no, like I'm saying, yeah, this is Rich knows that, but anybody that knows TYCO that has the TYCO Bible, wherever I put it, you have this book here. I'll just pull it up. See, I got Porsche, one of my spots. Car 37 on page 38. It's a 3. They called it the X20 part number, but it comes on a 440X2. I'm done collecting. No more. You're collecting Auto World now. I know. There we go. Okay, so the top 4 right there are the American versions, And then this bottom row is the Japanese. So that's the TYCO and something. And then there's the one I just got. And then there's the American Kenwood. And there's the Japanese Kenwood. Nope, just Japanese release only. 1990. Yeah, the TYCO and the Chrome. Yeah. So if anybody's got one of those Japanese version Kenwoods that wants to do some swapping, let me know, because I'd really like to have them all. Yeah, Rich. I don't believe that either. Nobody does. Gee, bud, I know I don't believe that. So as much as I would have I wanted to put off buying any more slot cars. Like I said, whenever an opportunity like that presents itself at such a good price, I couldn't pass it up. And so obviously I jumped all over it, and I'm glad that I did because, like I said, it's a really awesome looking car and it's perfect. So, and if you're wondering, whenever I say Japanese only, that means that they only release these in Japan. So that means somebody had to ship it across, which is pretty cool. Miller Porsche. Yep. Hey, Mark, have a good night, buddy. Don't work too hard the rest of the week. 25,000 for my entire collection. I know it sounds crazy, but no, sorry, Rich. Thank you for the offer, though. Cracking me up. So, like I said, I'm sorry, Adam. I don't know if you're still with us or not. I'm sorry I got around to showing that off so late, but I did want to show it off to everybody. And then whenever Saturday night rolls around, I have the camera more set up close to me, then I'll get us some closer views on the little turntable for you guys to take a look at this awesome car. If you don't have a TYCO book to take a look at it in there, because I'd never seen one in person. I'd only seen it in the book. And it was, like I said, just one of those cars I never thought I'd own, and then voila. Have a good night, Adam. So on next week's show, just so you guys know what I have planned on Monday night show, I think I'm going to skip doing a track next week, and I think we're going to start doing the initial testing on the Viper upgrade. So if you bought a stock V-Spec and you bought it with the AFX clip and you put this GT40 type body on it, we're going to see what it runs bone stock. Then I'll change some tires, try it that way. And as an added bonus, Mark's car is over there and I got dogs in between me and them. I'll buy some of those tires, the albino tires like I have for my car that I run, in the size that he suggested for his car, and we'll show the difference on how much faster or slower that made that. So, kind of this week was kind of like a TYCO, showing what I can do with a hopped up TYCO, and even with the limited restraints of traction magnet size, how you can still get it to run as good or almost as good as a factory V-Spec. So it's kind of cool night. And so now we're going to start the process of working this thing all the way up to where Mark's is at now, except for the Lexan body, because in our class we have to have a hard body. So we'll run it with the factory GT Mega G Plus chassis first, then we'll clip in a factory brand new V-Spec straight from Viper, and then we'll start modifying that with some tires. See how fast we can get that. Then I'll do that same thing with Marks, see how fast we can get that. And that ought to probably hog up about an hour's time between testing and screwing up on the track and wrecking and stuff like that. But if you guys have any suggestions on stuff that you'd like to see other than what I'm, kind of got already planned, please let me know. If there's something specific that you want to see done or how to do it, please reach out, let me know, or put it in the comments. I'm here to try to help the hobby. And so I'm trying to show, if you bought a bone stock TYCO, what you can do with it. And now I'm showing if you take a Viper V-Spec and you just want to tweak on it and try to make it faster, what you can do that too. And then I'll do that same thing with a TYCO 440. I'll try to buy one brand new in the package. We'll open it up, throw it on the track, kind of like I did with the Kellogg's car, get a baseline on it. And then once I get some of those new arms that run as good as the ones that I had before, my V-Spec filters, then we'll max it out and we'll do that again. And then we'll probably use that as a giveaway car down the road as a prize for somebody that watches the channel. So, Rick, buddy, I did, before you get off here, instead of me just writing you a note, I'll just tell you right now, your chassis, that is a SRT Indy style body chassis. So it doesn't take any clips. The only type of body, and I'll get one out and I'll show you. It makes no difference. Yeah, okay. So you need the square Tony type Indy bodies. This is a racing turbo. It's not an SRT like the one you sent me, but it's the same thing as far as the chassis goes. You can see the little gaps in there on the side. It has, these bodies have little positive clips on the inside. So what you'll need to do is try to find you one of these older Tony square Indy style type bodies, and you'll be good to go, man. That's a very desirable chassis. So get you an Indy style body like that, flip around there and have some fun. And my apologies for trying to make you put a clip on there, but until I got it on my cars and my chassis, I didn't know. Well, we're just a few minutes away from the 9 o'clock hour. And like I said, I know that people like myself, tomorrow's my Monday. And so those of you that are still working or already had to work on the weekend, my apologies. Like I said, hopefully you'll get some extra time off somewhere down the road like a lot of the other people did. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. I hope it was entertaining for you guys. Rick, I'll get your cars out to you. Anybody that emailed me, like Paul and Michael, like I said, I got your emails, and I'll send you all that information, and I'll add in the extra chassis. And Rick, you should be getting an email showing that I'll get your cars wrapped up, and they'll be in the mail for you tomorrow. Man-child Matt, same thing. I'll just make an invoice and knock off your holders, and then upgrades, and then the car you want on the auction, and I'll do all that on an invoice for you. And then I didn't see Ed on here, but Ed, don't worry, buddy. I'll send you an email with before I send you the invoice and let you know that your car is ready to go, since I didn't see you here tonight. But thank you, everybody that showed up. Hope, like I said, you guys learned a little something. Got to see, like I said, a hopped up really good TYCO that can be ran for about the same money as you can buy a Viper V-Spec chassis for chassis. So if you're a tinkerer like I am and you want to build your own car, ask me for the parts list like I include with all the cars that I do that to. And I'll be more than happy to email it to you. Or if you buy one, I send it with the car. Or if you want your own, I can sell you all the parts and you can assemble them yourself. So if it comes to TYCOs and 440X2s, and just reach out to me and I can pretty much find the parts for you if I don't have them already. But you guys don't work too hard this week. Be sure and catch up with Adam on his show on Wednesday night. And then we've got the PTT live stream on Thursday night, as well as the race night, as well as Kenton with SLOTCAR and HO trains. And then on Friday night, we have Rich. And then on Saturday night, we have SLOTCAR Saturday Night Live with yours truly. And we'll be doing another awesome auction tonight, next Saturday night. I got some kick-ass cars that are coming in. Hopefully, they'll all be here for next Saturday night. But even if half of them come in, they'll be a good night just to check out, even if you don't want to buy anything. So, like I said, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for joining in tonight. You guys take care. Get out there, light some sparks, and melt some plastic. Have a good night. Bye-bye.